Academy Award and Golden Globe nominated actress and writer of My Big Fat Greek Wedding. Nia Vardalos is with us today in the studio of OCN. And, of course, we're streaming live across to our community center where there are several hundred people waiting to greet her so that she can sign her new book, Instant Mom. Hi, Nia. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's nice to have you here in South Florida.
It's very nice. Thank you.
Let's talk a little bit about Nia. I've seen the movie. I can't tell you how many times. I've read the book. I actually read it on the plane on the way back from a trip out west that I went to. So tell us about your writing, My Big Fat Greek Wedding, because the reason I say that is when I read that, when I saw the book, when I saw the movie and I read the book, I saw a personal family, an individual. I didn't see someone who was out there just making stars in the sky.
That's very nice. Thank you. I feel like even though when I wrote My Big Fat Greek Wedding, it was out of desperation to get a Greek role. Mm-hmm. I thought if I can't find one, well, I'll just write one. Mm-hmm. And then the incredible tsunami that happened with the movie, and of course my dad would tell you that tsunami is a Greek word in some way. The incredible thing that happened was unexpected and in many ways so beautiful because everyone said, this is my family. And it crossed cultures and boundaries and borders, and it was so surprising to me and, of course, not to my producers, Rita Wilson and Tom Hanks and Gary Getzman.
They picked it up right away.
They were not surprised. I think they felt they felt that it had something, and I had to find the confidence that these people seemed to have in me as a screenwriter. And then since then, I wrote many movies, including a movie with Tom Hanks. It's all his idea. It's all Tom. It's called Larry Crown. But I got to be involved in the writing of that movie. And yet, to write a book was the most terrifying thing for me because I wasn't writing under a character name. I wasn't writing Tula does this. I wasn't writing Larry does this. I was writing I went on this journey, and it was the most deeply personal thing I've ever done. But I felt a responsibility because I know a secret. I know how to adopt from all over the world. How do I sit on that? How do I not tell everyone about it? So the last 25 pages are how to adopt from all over the world. But the inside of the book is... it's a message to everyone. Don't give up on anything. You're studying for a college exam, don't give up. You're looking for your birth mother, don't give up. You're looking for the perfect job that you want to find, don't give up. And I will tell you all my loser stories in there so that you will see it doesn't happen.
It's very personal, I have to say that. And you do show yourself being vulnerable here in opening yourself up to the world that sometimes likes to live in that stuff.
Yes, I know.
In some of our struggles. But I give you a lot of credit for doing that. And what I say is that we saw you as a young girl in the character of Tula. We saw you dating. We saw you dealing with parents that, were dealing with someone who was not of your background coming in. We saw you growing. We saw you having your own child in the movie. And now we see this personal issue of Instant Mom. Tell us why Instant Mom was the title.
When I wrote My Big Fat Greek Wedding, I was in the process of trying to become a mother. And it took, obviously, I was so willing it to happen that I even wrote that my character has a child by the end of the movie. And all through the process, the term Instant Mom is almost ironic because it took me 10 years.
I was going to say, it took you a long time.
It took me 10 years to become an instant mom, but it happened so suddenly because when we finally got matched via American foster care with our daughter and I saw her, it was so sudden, this moment of, oh,
Seems
that's
like
my
you
child.
knew that was the child.
That I just knew it. I knew it. Even though so many things had fallen through, I knew it. And I think that women who give birth feel it. I feel that men who have their child handed to them feel it. It's a moment of a rush of love that is so profound and it's so spectacular. You didn't even know it was possible.
Right.
And that's why I say in the beginning of the book with my daughter, I thought I knew love, and then I found you. And then I met you. How did I meet you?
Right.
It's amazing what happened.
Let's talk about your relationship to God. And what place did God have in all of this? I can see there was a lot of struggle there. And, of course, you talk very frankly about the fact that you were, as a young person, you were trying to get yourself established. They found you. You come into stardom. And you're saying, I'm not totally fulfilled. I want to have that child also. Where's God in all that? Is he ever there?
I talk about it a lot in the book, that I would look up at heaven and say, when will I be a mother? And I have a relationship with a very benevolent God, a God that has a plan. And I always say now, you have a plan and God has a plan, and your plan doesn't count. And I understand
God
now.
plans and man laughs, or the other way around.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I understand that this is the plan for me. I am supposed to be talking about these kids in foster care all over the world, in orphanages. This is the plan. I think. I feel useful and I feel fulfilled. I don't like traveling and being away from my daughter, so a show like this will help me immensely in getting the word out about the book, because we are going to take these proceeds and go back to all the groups that we met and share, and try to get kids adopted, try to take care of social workers who do good, and churches and orphanages in Mexico, and just places that is sure.
Excuse me, do we know how many kids are there out there that could be adopted in foster care?
It's in American foster care. There are 500,000 kids, and 129,000 are legally freed for adoption. That means that their parental rights have been terminated. So
say that again, so our listeners can hear that clearly.
Okay.
Because some may be out there, and they may be in the same position, and they may want to adopt a child. So say those numbers again.
Okay.
Because I'm shocked.
In American foster care, there are 500,000 kids in the United States living in group homes. Of those 500,000, 350,000 need a place. They need a safe home to live while their birth parents hopefully get it together.
Okay.
Of the 500,000, there are roughly 130,000 that are legally emancipated.
Wow.
That means birth rights have been terminated. They can be adopted. I suggest one thing: if you want to do this way, if you want to adopt this way, use what's called a foster family agency.
Okay.
And it sounds like foster agency, but it's different. It's a free service.
FFA.
FFA,
right.
That's it.
Right.
Foster family agency. If you internet search it, Google it, as
Google
they say.
Right.
It comes up. It's a free service, and they will help you find your child.
Great. All right, so we need to do that, FFA. Let's talk about your parents a little bit. Talk about your family. What can you share about all of the success and now this tremendous blessing of having a new child in your family? How has that changed the dynamic of the family?
I write about it in the book. I talk about being Greek. I feel like I talk about being Greek in every chapter of this book because I am so very Greek. You cannot, with this miti, not be Greek, right? So I am always talking about it, and my Greek family embraced my daughter so wholeheartedly, so unabashedly, and it was so loving that I realized this is the family that this child will be able to feel comfortable in, because it was not an easy transition. Of course, she was almost 3 years old when we adopted her. That's another reason it's called Instant Mom, because I was not handed an infant. I was told you will be
a toddler.
A toddler, with
just past the terrible twos. Though, so.
I always say that she was in the terrible threes for 5 years. Yeah, she was understandably hurt and upset and angry, and we just let her express that. And one thing that definitely made it better is when Yaya came. And
Yayas have a way, don't they?
Exactly.
Grandmothers have a tremendous way.
Yaya started cooking, and everything got better. Paximadia cured everything.
What did you learn from your own upbringing? No one goes to the University of Parenting.
Yes.
I never took a course. I learned from my parents. I tell our guests all the time, we have 6 children and 2 grandchildren. I never took a course. I feel sorry for the first couple because I'm sure I made lots of mistakes.
Yeah.
But what did you learn from life to help you raise those children?
Well, I
that
think
child
I think the incredibly long journey of becoming a parent taught me something that I just did not have, which was patience. I learned that I have a bottomless well of patience, and you need that to be a parent. Right. But the other thing, too, is that you have to accept that you're fallible and that you'll make mistakes. Yeah. And I've made mistakes, and I've learned, and I'm quite honest about it in the book, what I did wrong, what I tried that I went, oh, that worked. I had the benefit of a lot of my cousins and my own siblings being parents before me. Mm-hmm. So I just cherry-picked what I saw worked, and it's trial and error all the time. No matter how great parents we think we are, we're going to mess them up, and they're going to write a book about us.
What's the biggest fear of parenting that you have in parenting?
They say this, that your heart walks around outside your body.
Ooh, yeah. That you love them so much.
I love her so much. I just can't believe it. Every time she walks into school, I am that weeping parent. Mm-hmm. I just go, bye, honey, and then I turn around, I was
talking with a mom of 12 children, and when our kids started to go away to college, I said, I'm really feeling this hollowness. I'm feeling as if I'm missing something, and I hope and pray they'll be all right. And she looked at me and she said, Father, of course they're going to be fine. What are you worried about? God loves your children more than you love them. And it sort of flipped me, and I said, that's a good way to look at it.
That is a good way to look at it.
That's a good way. But there is that almost out of body, out of heart experience raising the children.
Yes, and I actually think, of course, that my husband and I get applauded for doing this, and it's uncomfortable for us. We don't feel that we're special in any way. A biological parent and a parent who get to adopt, no one is any more special in any way. No child is more special than any other child. But I do think that for adopted children who get to be adopted and parents who get to be parents by adoption, that there is a special plan. I think that you have to accept that there was a plan. No child is a mistake or is abandoned. There's just a reason that these people have to be together.
To come together.
And you learn from your children, don't you?
You absolutely do. Mm-hmm. It's a humbling experience to be a parent.
Yes, it is. My daughter is much more wise than I will ever be.
Well, Nia, it's great to have you here. Thank you for visiting us at St. Demetrius Church and the home of the Orthodox Christian Network in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. We encourage our listeners to buy the book. The book is Instant Mom by Nia Vardalos, and we hope and pray that this book will help lots of people. Remember that FFA Google search? Remember the number of children that are available out there to be adopted. That's a huge thing. And we commend you for what you've done, even though you don't do it for that reason. You're not doing it for the applause.
No.
You've done the right thing. And in today's world, it's a good thing to do the right thing.
Thank you. I'm terrified because it's hard to be this vulnerable. But if I can take these proceeds and get the information out there and get these kids adopted, then it's okay for my personal business to be out there.
Very good. Thanks, Nia. Thanks a lot.